Should there be a season 2 for Anikulapo, the Rise of the Spectre? Or will there be a season 2 for Anikulapo, the Rise of the Spectre? These are questions I will provide answers to on this video. And on this video, I'll be discussing Anikulapo, the Rise of the Spectre from episode 4 to 6. And I might also still make reference to like the first 3, but I'm talking about the series in it as a whole on this video. And also, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like, what's worked for me and what did not. Welcome back to this YouTube channel, and this is the Gist with Loba. And on this video, we will be discussing Anikulapo, the Rise of the Spectre. So let us just dive into the very first thing, and that is, will there be a season 2 for Anikulapo, the Rise of the Spectre? Yes, and it will be based on this condition. This is what I think. It's just my opinion. And I also saw a tweet from one of the cast of the show, which is Kunle Afolayan, where he tweeted that a reviewer should just calm down because there'll be a season 2, and those lapses this reviewer was complaining about will be rectified, or the person will see reasons why those lapses were still there when the season 2 comes up. So I feel like, okay, I think this is it, that these people will be giving us season 2. And with the way the film actually ended, we just know that they left it in a way that the film will have an avenue to write a story or create a plot or whatsoever they want to create from what they've told us so far. And for me, but the thing here is, the big question here is, do I really want a season 2? For me, I don't think a season 2 will be really necessary. And I think the season 2 will be based on the success of the season 1. We should all know this with Netflix. They always have their movies end in a way that, their movies and series end in a way that they have that opportunity to pick up the story and continue from wheresoever they have stopped. So I think the success of this series just tell them or give them reason to renew it for a second season. And for this one, I think they've done the same, and the success of this will determine if they'll renew it for another season. But for me, with the way it ended, I felt like the last 2 episodes were boring and they dragged feet a lot. I felt like the series could have ended with just 3 episodes, but I felt like maybe it's Netflix standard to have it last till 6 episodes, because I can't remember, I haven't seen any Netflix series that is shorter than 6 episodes. I can't remember. I don't know if they are. I would like to know if you have contrary opinion, or if you think they are Netflix series that are shorter than 6 episodes. So I feel maybe that was why they had to drag it and make it this long. But the story and with the material they have, I feel like they could have done better with making it not as long as this. I got glued. I enjoyed the first 3, but this last 3, I enjoyed it, but I feel like it was too long. I was becoming bored and all of that. So let us just go into what worked for me for this series. And the very first is the plots. So, I said the plot, I said the story, I was complaining, but like the first 3, I kind of enjoyed it to a certain level. Then the acting, it's no brainer. I think that's how it is said, that it's no brainer that the acting is good, or the acting of most of the cast of this show is good. And the guy who acted Bashon had begotten accolades which he deserved and more. I really love his dialogues and everything, his action, all of that. Like, the man is just good at it. Even the voice, like, he embodied that role in every aspect. The action, the charisma, like, he embodied the role. And the acting is good. And the acting here now is not just these main characters or like the major characters who did great with it. Every one of them on this series, like, even when we have those scenes where they were having festivals and party, I think the wedding scene, and also the wrestling scene, the way the crowd were able to, these people did not have dialogue in this film, but that dancing, the action, their movement, the facial expression, they did it for me and I love it. So that is it for that. And the dialogue, I think I really enjoyed the dialogue, but I have issue with the fact that most of the time the dialogues are unnecessarily long. Some conversation or some scene that could have just lasted a shorter period lasted longer than they should have. The set design, props, cinematography, all of these are things this movie did great at. The visuals, I think this movie did, it's a very good one. And you know that time, money, and effort was well spent into producing this. You shouldn't expect less. This is a Netflix original. Then what did not work for me? I think I'm starting with the setting of the film. And I think continuity. No, I think continuity. They also had issue with continuity. I'm saying this because if you should remember the Anikulapo, the first one we saw, they left. That is Saro and Arolake left the palace, they left Oyo for a new place where they settled in, and they spent years there. They spent close to 4 years or 3 because Saro had kids with other women, and these kids were like close to 3 or 2 years. So they spent years there before they were eventually, before Saro was killed and Arolake left. You know, then coming to see the return of Saro, and he has like 3 years to spend again. Then everyone in this film, when they are making reference to how long Arolake had left, they are still making reference to 3 years ago, which I feel like it's not adding up because the for Saro parts or for Saro's story, the subplot is making there's always a reference of 3 years, fine, because making reference to the time since he had been resurrected or the time he's back to do his mission and accomplish that mission, then go back. He had just that 3 years due to the time frame the ghost gave him. But for other people making reference to how long they've left the Oyo, it's not really adding up. They are also making reference to 3 years, which I feel like should have been something they should have paid attention to, and that shouldn't be a mistake they should be making in such film. Then the character portrayal of that KBAC, so it's not given for me. I kind of feel like, why? This KBAC is too weak. This Salafi is too weak. The man is just there. And also, the way they were dragging, and one thing I did not really like is the fact that this series was too long because we were just dragging feet and they were giving Bashon lots more subplots than he's supposed to get. The issue, the Arolake subplots too, Arolake is supposed to come back and all of that, but why did he, regardless of the Bashon, not the Bashon, the Fagbon was something, that's the priest too, it was too aback, it was too laid back about, like, you know what the Ifa had actually told you and what is needed to be done. And he's just far back and he left Basharu to be doing all of that. I just feel like that Maralake's story about coming back to the palace and all of that was told in a way that I feel like they took too much time. And it's made the last 3 episodes, not really the last, I think the last 2 especially, made it so boring. I feel like they just took too much time telling that story. That's the ending part. It was too much for me, and also the need for them to end it in a way that we accommodate them to tell more story. So I think this is all I'm discussing for Anikulapo, The Rise of the Spectre.